Yesterday, I had taken up nouns. Now, all of a sudden, if I begin with nouns, you say, what are nouns? Some of you probably are aware, some of you know also. But then, before we actually begin with that, we'll just take a recap of what we did yesterday. Now, yesterday I had told you that for any language, there are certain rules to be followed. How you express yourselves in the written form, in the speaking form, and even in the sign language, we express ourselves. But written and spoken languages need particular type of uh, guidelines. You can say guidelines, or you can say some rules. And these basic rules of grammar will help us to learn any language. And this stands good for English as well. So yesterday I had already given you a brief glimpse, or you can say a brief introduction about the alphabets. There are 26 letters. I have told about that. And with the help of those 26 letters, we have created certain sounds. Yes, with A, we create so many sounds. A, okay, long sounds, short sounds. In Hindi also you have done, okay? Choti E, Badi E, A. So same way in English also, we do all these things. So we have the alphabets and 26 letters in them. Then with the help of those 26 letters from A to Z, we form words. Words can be two-letter alphabets can form TO2. That also is a word. Okay, Go, go is also a word. Then three-letter, four-letter, and a single letter I. That is a word in itself. When you write I like this, yes, you express yourself. So this is how we take up the language. Now, when we take up the language, after that, we move on to the basic rules of grammar. When we are expressing ourselves in the form of a sentence, so there are different things to be done. Like a sentence will have different words, and these words indicate different parts of grammar. In English grammar, we call these as parts of speech. Okay, these are called parts of speech. Also, children, I'm sure everybody has kept a notebook, because as I proceed with the chapter, I'll be giving you a few sentences for practice, and all of you know, practice makes a man perfect. Until and unless we write something, understand it perfectly, then only our grammar will become better. So a copy, a notebook should be there with you along with a pen or pencil, whatever is suitable. Keep that. That's just a rough notebook so that you can refresh your memories later on if at any point of time you are confused, or if you forget something, just refer to those things. Along with that, I'll also be providing you the PDF. All the teachers will do that, most of us. So we will get that PDF form, and that will also keep you in touch with the topics that we are dealing with. So parts of speech, yesterday also I told you there are 8 parts of speech. Yes, those are nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, preposition, and conjunction. One more, sorry, interjection. So these are the 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, preposition, conjunctions, and interjections. We use these to make a sentence or to frame a sentence. This is how we are going to learn them. So the first part of speech that we take up is noun. Now, if you remember, yesterday I had given you few sentences. I had explained what is noun, and I had given you few sentences. All right. So noun, any naming word is a noun. I told you when you look around yourself, you find various articles. You can pinpoint them and you can call them by different names, like your brother's name, sister's name, papa, mummy, or the objects around you. You're sitting at a table studying. You have a book in front probably, maybe some stationery. So everything around you has a name. So anything that has a name is called a noun. Clear? Suppose this is the chalk. I cannot call anything else a chalk. I have a chalk in my hand. This is a chalk. This particular item has a name. So this is called a noun. That was clear? Now, yesterday I had given some sentences and we had done the exercises. If there is anyone who missed out yesterday, so you can take down the sentences from here. I would rather say take a screenshot of it. That will help you do it later on. And we had done the exercise. Let's take the first sentence. That is my house. And all of you had underlined yesterday, it was house. The bird is sitting on the tree. So, which are the two naming words? You know, here are two nouns. So, this is the bird and this is the tree. When you look at a bird, you can pinpoint and say that is a bird and that is a tree. So, when you name those two articles, those two objects, they are noun. Perfect. The girl is dancing. Which is the naming word here? That is the girl. She played with a ball. Which is the object here? Which is the thing that you pinpoint and name? That is the ball. This was our yesterday exercise and we had done also. We had already underlined. Till here, this was a recap of yesterday. Now, today, nouns are these. Now we classify them or we divide them or we take them into broader aspect. So we take what are the types, what are the kinds of noun. Okay, this is something very interesting. So today we'll pick up from the next part, that is kinds of nouns. All right. So broadly, we divide nouns as proper nouns, common nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns, material nouns. Okay, just look at the board and you can see these are the types of nouns or the kinds of nouns that we have: proper nouns, common nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns, and material nouns. After this, we'll go one by one, take them up and understand what each noun describes or how is it understood. So your first noun was proper noun, isn't it? Okay. Now children, just now I told you that everything that has a name. Proper nouns are those nouns which have a particular name. Let's say, for example, I take myself. My name is Anjana. So I am a proper noun. Why? Because I am a particular, everyone around me is not called by the same name. So I am Anjana. Okay. When you have, you stay in which city? You stay in Kota. So you say Kota, again, there are many cities. But when you're taking particularly Kota, when you're describing Kota, this Kota word is again a proper noun. Okay, like I love my country, India. Now see here, India. There are many countries across the world. But which country's name are we taking? We are taking the name of India. So India is a proper noun. Now, one very particular rule that you have to remember, and where most of the children make a lot of mistakes, is whenever you mention a proper noun, wherever a name occurs, a particular name occurs, you are supposed to write it with a capital letter. Many children, you yourself can check your notebooks, the previous ones, or if you find, now you can pinpoint that mistake. Many children you will find will write India in their social studies like this. In a flow they're writing. This is incorrect. How are we supposed to write? It is always like this. Why? Because particular. The rules of grammar are not only followed in English, it has to be followed in all the subjects that you are studying, be it social studies, general science, or maths, or anywhere. In maths, when you're doing your sums, when you're taking the names of, suppose there's a problem sum, Ram had so many pencils and Mohan gave him 2 more pencils. So here Ram and Mohan, when you're mentioning, they are proper nouns, they are particular names. Always write them with capital letters. I hope you're going to remember the rule always. Whether it is the name of a person, it is the name of a place, or it is some kind of mountain or sea, something like that. Day, yes. My father will come on Tuesday. Many children I have seen will always write like this. Again, incorrect. This tea, the name of your country, name of a river, name of a sea, name of an ocean, name of any important place like the Lal Killa or the Red Fort or the Taj Mahal. These are the names that you come across constantly in so many subjects. These are to be written with capital letters. That is how we write proper nouns. Okay. Now you have your notebooks and your pens or pencils. Let's take 2 sentences for proper nouns. Please note them down with me. No, I'll take some other example. All right. Here, please identify the proper noun. Which one? Yes, many of you I can see, they know Mehul is the name of a person. So definitely Mehul is going to be a proper noun. Okay? Yes, correct. Now let's take one more example. Lata Mangeshkar is a melodious singer. Lata Mangeshkar is a melodious singer. Which one is the proper noun here? Once again, it is Lata Mangeshkar. Very true, very correct. Why? Because this is one person's name. No other person has this name. Okay? Proper noun. Now, if this is proper noun, do we have any more nouns in the same sentences? Definitely. There is a noun here. There is a noun here. Okay. So, these are again nouns, but they don't identify anyone as particular. Okay. Suppose I take one more example, it will be more clear. My class has 54 students. Now children, You're talking about your class, but are you mentioning any particular class? My class, but you're not saying you are which section or which particular class, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. So class and students, they are nouns because you can point them out, you can show them, you can tell about them, talk about them. These are definitely nouns, but we call them collective nouns. This is your second type of, common nouns, I'm sorry. The second type of noun, common noun. After proper noun, we come to common noun. Here also, Mehul is a good singer. Mehul definitely is a particular person's name, but the word singer is just common. So now the question is, what is a common noun? A common noun is something which does not indicate, does not pinpoint, does not show anyone in particular. It is just anyone. Okay? Like your class, your school, your city, your country. When you're not naming them, you're simply talking about, it can be anything, any river. But when you say the Ganges, so the Ganges is a particular river. So Ganges will be your proper noun and the word river will be your common noun. I hope this is clear. Same way when you talk about Mount Everest is the highest, tallest peak. When you're talking about Mount Everest becomes what? That becomes the proper noun, but peaks are many. You will study in your SST, there are different peaks, many mountains and many peaks. So when you're talking about common things, they become common. Okay, that's just a class or anything. Like it can be a city, it can be a town, it can be a lake, it can be a river, it can be a mountain, girl, boy, animal, anything, until and unless it has a particular name. So here we have classified the two types, proper nouns and common nouns. Clear? Right. After this, I move on to the third category or the third type. Now, this is called the abstract noun. Now, what is this abstract? Abstract is something that doesn't have a particular shape. Okay? Like anger. Anger is an emotion. Okay? If somebody is angry, that is something that you can see. My mother is angry today, my father is angry, or my teacher is angry with me. But you cannot just pick it up and say, this is anger. Yes? No. Same way, it can be laughter. Laughter is something that you see on the face. You look at someone and you say, oh, what is that person's laughter? Oh my God, hilarious. But you cannot pick it up and show like this and say, this is called laughter. So all kinds of expressions, emotions, ideas, these are called abstract nouns. Abstract is something, please try to understand like this, that has no particular shape, that is just an expression. Okay, so that is like honesty. You can judge a person and say, oh, this person, he is known for his honesty. He will never commit any kind of wrong. So honesty is something that is defined by somebody's actions or somebody's expressions or his deeds. But you cannot just lift up and say, this is called honesty. No. So honesty. Understood? Next we have, after this, we take collective nouns. Now see children, when you take many things and you make them as one group, one particular thing, like you say a class of students, there are so many students, probably 54, 55, sometimes 60 also. So when you're calling them collectively as a class, my class, this way, then it becomes a collective noun. There are certain names given to collective nouns. Like if there are some singers, you have often seen our school has certain students who sing the hymns every day. Those of you who are old students are aware of this. So we have in the morning assembly, we had our group of singers. They used to come and sing the hymns. What is this group called? It is called a choir. Choir. It's called a choir. So a choir of singers. Same way, when there are many dancers, a group of girls or boys who dance, they are called a troupe. Troupe. A troupe of dancers. Now, those who have been the class monitors, they usually collect the notebooks and carry them to the staff room, or they distribute in the class. So when you're collecting the notebooks and putting them one on top of the other, that makes a big, what is it called? That is called a big pile. A pile of notebooks. So when we give a name to a particular, you can say group or a bunch or whatever. Yes, bunch. Bunch is another thing. You must have seen in many houses, the keys of the different rooms or different cupboards and almirahs and these things are put together, and that is called a bunch of keys. A bunch of keys. Understood? Another very common example. Bananas. Many of you must be loving bananas. Yes? Yes. So when you get bananas from the market, you've seen they are usually bunched together. Now you cannot call that a bunch of bananas. No. You don't call them bunch of bananas. You call it a cone. Another very common example, you see many puppies on the roads. When we walk on the road, we see many puppies. What are those puppies when they are brought together called? They are called a litter of puppies. A litter of puppies. And the board is full. So before I stop, I would again like to give you a few sentences so that you can just take them down. All right. Take these. Um, pick out the nouns in the following sentences and identify their types. Okay. You can take a screenshot of the same. Okay, children. The Golden Temple is in Amritsar. That's sentence number 1. I saw a bundle of sticks on the road. And the third sentence is, the boys were laughing loudly. Okay. So these are the three sentences. The Golden Temple is in Amritsar. I saw a bundle of sticks on the road. The boys were laughing loudly. You are getting these three sentences, identify the nouns, and then also write which type of noun each one is. With that, I'd like to wind up. Today we learned only three types of nouns, three kinds of nouns: proper nouns, particular name of person, okay, and common noun, just group, or collective nouns when we give a particular name to a collection of people or things or objects. That's a collective noun. So with that, I would like to conclude, and I would say take care. We are facing a lot of difficult times, and do look after yourselves, abide by the COVID rules once again, and be happy, okay, be positive.